Most people don't know my story unless they know me personally. But first of all, I'm not a hijab model that they just brought in and they dressed her up in the Nike hijab or whatnot. But 3 years ago, I was deeply struggling with my hijab. I had been wearing it for around 14 years, and I was going to actually take it off because the struggle was real. Like, I'm an athlete, I run marathons, I climb mountains. Every time I go anywhere, it's like, how are you going to run in all these layers, or aren't you hot? And I'm like, yeah, hot, but you're also hot. And all these, negative, random comments that become excessive at some point where you feel like you're going to give it up. And I remember 2014, I sat my dad down and I was like, look, I'm really struggling, I'm not happy, I want to take it off. And he's like, okay, fine, well, do whatever you want. You're 34 years old. You can do what you want to do because you're going to be responsible for your decision. But I was like, oh, really? Is it that easy? I'm just going to give up something that has been my identity for so long? So I was like, I'm not a dead fish to just simply go with the flow. I'm going to start something on social media to give me empowerment and to support me. And I started a group that I named Surviving Hijab. It was on the 24th of August, 2014. And it was very random. I had zero social media background. Initially, it was just like me, adding and handpicking girls that I knew randomly from Facebook. And I was like, what, these girls are going to be my support or my community. The following week, we exploded to 200 and then thousands. And then by November 2014, we hit 40,000 women from all around the world. And what's so special about this group, it's a closed group. So unless you look it up, it will never pop up on Facebook for you. And that's why, even Facebook has got in touch and they're so fascinated by it. Year to date, we are 560,000 women from all around the world. And Naha is one of our admins. She works night and days to approve posts, and she works really, really hard. So my point is, when I felt like, oh my God, so this is a phenomenon. Women are struggling with their hijab. It is a struggle. So I was like, wait a second. So I'm an athlete. There is no athletic representation of Muslim women at any athletic level. Like, none of the big brands have done it. Reebok, Adidas, or whatnot. No one has done it. But as a Nike girl, and I've been a Nike fan since forever, I thought of writing them an email, and I didn't care about the outcome. I was just going to drop an email to someone who I knew was going to be responsible, and they responded to me the next day. So I put in the email, I attached a photo of myself. I had just run a half marathon, and I told them how I do triathlons in my hijab, I climb mountains in my hijab, I run marathons in my hijab, and that's okay. But we just don't see so many women doing it, and if you do, you stand out so much. You don't have to stand out, it should be the norm. So Nike responded to me the next day, and they said, okay, great, we have been having similar conversations, and that was November 25th, 2014, and they asked to meet me. So we met, and we sparked up the conversation about why is Nike representing Muslim women. And in January 2015, I became the first ever hijabi athlete to appear in the Nike Running Release campaign. And year to date, so 3 years later, we have a Nike hijab, that is catering for Muslim athletes. And I think Halima has also tried it. And you look amazing in your Instagram photo. And that's why it's so important. If you want to wear hijab as a young girl, here you have something to wear. And I remember when the campaign came out in March 2017, and I was the face of it. I remember there were so many comments like, oh, this is not hijab, look at how tight her pants are, and this is a false representation, this girl doesn't represent us. Well, wait a second, you don't know anything about my story, you don't know what I do, you don't know who I am as a human being. The FIBA, for those of you, how many of you are basketball players? Anyone? Basketball players. Great, so did you know that the FIBA, which is the International Federation of Basketball, actually did not allow Muslim hijabi athletes to participate in international championships if they wear the hijab. Do you think this is fair? No. However, this actually changed in May 2017, and they used my Nike Pro hijab photo to announce it. I just want to add something to Manal. I think, as Muslim women or hijabi Muslim women or whatnot, I think we owe it to the world every time we travel to educate the world on who we are, and where we come from. For example, when I'm climbing mountains, I'm the only hijabi Arab girl in any expedition. you know, and I've climbed like 5 of the highest mountains in the world, and it's always like, really? Like, Muslim women are allowed to do that? There is nothing in the Quran or the Islam that says that Muslim women are not allowed to do these things, you know, as long as you're not hurting someone or offending someone, you know, the world is literally your oyster, and you just go out there and do your thing. And on that, I just want to add a message to the little girls. You know, when I was 20-something, because I'm obviously the oldest one on the panel, which is fine, but the fittest one and the healthiest one. Well, I keep offering her free personal training so that she can feature me on her YouTube, and she doesn't accept it. So I think how many times have I offered her free personal training? Okay. And she's like, oh, I'm always traveling, you know, like I'm always there doing this. Yeah, but I did Muay Thai in Thailand. Fine with Haifa, and I'm not getting food with Haifa. Anyway, so inshallah, yeah, running my way out of the panel with you, okay? so like when this whole idea of mountain climbing came to me, I was 28 years old. I found out about the first Egyptian guy who climbed Everest. I was like, oh my God, I was fascinated by the idea that an Arab person can actually scale such a huge mountain, which is Everest. And I remember sat there and I told my dad, oh my God, I'd love to do that. And he's like, what? You're never going to be able to do that. One, you're a girl. Two, so watch the trail of the conversation. One, you're a girl. Two, you're a hijabi. From my dad. And my dad is like, he's like 65 years old, very well educated man. But these are just stereotypes that are placed on us. And why? What makes a girl not able to climb a mountain or become, you know, like she was presenting a Nobel Prize. You know, like who would have thought like a girl is actually able to do that? You know, wasn't it like a Nobel Prize award?
Yeah, YouTube hosting, so I didn't give him that.
Exactly. So first of all,
I didn't win it. Some people thought I won it. I'm like, I didn't do anything to it.
So first because I'm a girl, and the second is like you wear the hijab. يعني أنت محجبة إزاي هتطلع جبل. And I'm sorry I'm saying this in Egyptian, but like
you just make your mom's
yeah. Please no, they can watch it on YouTube. But yeah, so don't allow anyone to belittle your ideas, no matter how huge they are. Like if you are capable, if God is allowing you to dream so big, seriously, know in your heart that one day you're really going to achieve them. I would have never ever thought that exactly 10 years later, you know, from the time when I was 28, that I'm going to be sitting on a panel talking to little girls or, you know, young women or whatnot about me having climbed 5 of the highest mountains in the world. You know, my dad has come around. Now he would love for me to become the first Egyptian woman to climb Everest, which is something I would have never ever thought would be possible. So if I knew then what I know now, it's hold on to your dreams. Don't waste your 20s feeling small or not able or not capable. Really, this is not like, you know, just little talk. I wish I started when I was 25, 22, and not waited until I was 34 to stand up for myself and be like, you know what? I have the money. I'm going to book my expedition. I'm going. And I remember my dad was like, what? You didn't ask my permission. I was like, no, wait. Like, I'm paying for it. I want your blessings for the trip. I want you to agree, but like, let's have an open conversation. Have the open conversation with your parents about whatever you want to do, whether it's to pursue a career in London, or you know, if you want to open like a shelter for dogs or whatever, things that people think, oh my God, you're so weird. Great, you know, you're doing something different, and this is what the world needs right now.
Thank you, Manal.
Thank you.
So you guys gotta give her
3 months, Saifa? Should I give you 3, 4? She's like swallowing. She's swallowing. I can see her.
I like Muay Thai.
Muay Thai?
Yeah.
I'm not certified as a Muay Thai instructor. I'll personally train you.
Okay.
And there's also Laura here. She's
yeah. Please train me. Actually, like I have a hashtag. It's called Save Haifa's Life.
Save Haifa's butt, actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's give her 3 months for her first 5 push-ups. Yeah. She's gonna commit. Well, that's like yes or no?
Yeah, let's make it public.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Dina. Thank you.
Thank
Manal.
you.
Thank you. And I love how honest everybody was. It was perfect.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. You're so beautiful. I was like looking at you, I'm like, so beautiful. Yeah, application. Yeah, bless you.
I'm from Malaysia, by the way. This is a video, but
Oh,
I'm gonna do
I want to come and run your marathon and climb. Oh, I've been to Malaysia. I've been to Langkawi and I've been to Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna come soon. Malaysia, wait for me.
Yay, thank you. I'm going to steal the influencers. So this is why